सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। स्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। So, the purificatory rituals do not purify Atma, because Atma is always pure. So it is Nitya Shuddha. Therefore the purificatory rituals, otherwise called the deeds of sanskara, these deeds of sanskara only purify the mind. And the Shruti, the Bhashyam also, instead of saying that the purificatory rituals purify the mind, it says, instead of saying this way, it says, it only purifies the jiva. And we say this jiva becomes purified, it doesn't mean really the jiva, atma, some atma becomes purified. Even when we say that jivatma becomes purified, the siddhanta means the actuality about it is only the emotions, the mind gets purified, that's all. Antahkarana Shuddhi. Even when we use the phrase Atma Shuddhi, the word Atma is also used in the sense of Antahkaranam. Therefore, Atma Shuddhi also means Atma Shuddhyartham idam karishye when a person says, I am doing this for purifying myself. Even then it means only for purifying my mind. That particular siddhantam cannot be touched. That is siddhanta. Using different language is not going to make siddhantam different. You see, because we do not experience change in awareness. Therefore, we can't also, there is no experience, there is no experiencing of any purificatory change in awareness. Change is not available. Then there is no question of change over from a state of impurity to a state of purity. No question. Thus all your sanskaras can only purify only the mind, which is a great asset for this jiva. Because to accomplish anything in this world is easier than accomplishing purity of the mind. See, to forgive to forget, to accommodate, to take pinpricks in one's life, never to be sluggish, never to be lazy, to renounce tamoguna, to renounce rajoguna, and to be dedicated to duty, and to be dedicated to adhyanam, to be dedicated to the truth, understanding the truth, living one's life well, purposefully, living life for the purpose of understanding what the truth is. That life which is synonymous with tapasya, that kind of mind if a person has, that's a real achievement. If all deeds of sanskara, if they can make me a sattvic person, an individual committed to values and truth, then prarabdham, let it actualize itself. The individual growth should not be, the individual dedication to the truth need not be confused with the events of prarabdham. Prarabdham will keep on manifesting itself, coming, going. So I don't have to unnecessarily waste time. I solve what I can solve. Events come, silently take them, and in time they fizzle out. Good events happen, bad events happen. That has nothing to do with the individual's journey, his dedication to, well, the truth. If we mix up both the issues of the individual's journey towards the truth and the events around, then I get caught in the events. And once I get caught in the events, they will never, prarabdha will not allow me to move ahead. जो हो रहा है होने दो, राम जी कहते हैं ना, जो हो रहा है होने दो, because nobody can stop. अपना journey, keep moving. It's purity of the mind. That is purity of the mind. And Viveka Chudamani, in one of the verses, Bhashikara says, you use your will, you use your choice to understanding yourself, and prarabdham pushyati vapu. As regards your physical survival and all that is related to the physical survival, will all happen by what? Prarabdha. Prarabdha has got its own role to play. And you do whatever you can in the present. Therefore, the enthusiasm, the inner enthusiasm called utsaha, the inner enthusiasm, should be formed. The study and reflection and jnana. And there is a silent enthusiasm for it. And also, but there's some events that take place, my enthusiasm is not going to help. I have to bide my time, I have to take time, I have to be prayerful. And they have their own rhythm. Prarabdham has its own rhythm. It comes by its time and goes by its time. It has its own time. Hey, this thinking is purity. That thinking is purity. Purity means correct thinking. Right thinking is all sanskara. Purity of the mind need not mean only just, pure emotions. It's not merely being kind and compassionate and generous. They're all there. They're a part of purity. That is not the whole of it. Purity means to think along the lines of Shastram. Because that is the only pramanam. I don't know. Otherwise I am totally ignorant. For me only this world is reality. And money is the reality, and whatever money can buy, reality. Money is truth for me. What money can buy is a greater truth for me. You see, money has vyavaharika satyam. What it can buy has paramarthika satyam. It's called paramarthika satyam. You see, I have only these two satyas. Minus the Shastram, I am blind. As Jiva, I am blind. If I think of God, I only imagine Him. I don't know what God is. Thus, purity of the mind really implies Shraddha towards the Shastra. Towards what it says. Thus, all our rituals, our prayers, all purificatory, the Hindu sanskaras, Vedic sanskaras, are all not just formalities. They are all purificatory rites. And they are all connected to two things. See, I would like to talk on this. In other religions, if there are purificatory rites, they are just related to your faith in heaven and faith in God in heaven. See, they are all geared to that belief. But in the Vedic sanskaras, they are all related to continuity of the Jiva, and the Jiva being ultimately the Brahman. Actually, that your existence has continuity, that is, existence has continuity, that is driven home in all the sanskaras. Not only the Jiva has continuity, it ultimately has to find out its own truth, and its truth happens to be really Brahmavastu. Thus, Jivasya Nityatvam and Jivasya Brahmatvam is the essence of the whole Veda. The entire Karma Kanda talks about the continuity of the individual, the Jiva, from life to life. This unending continuity of the Jiva. Therefore, because you have continuity here, the Shruti, the Sanskaras say, because you have continuity, therefore you can always help yourself by way of really thinking correctly, keep growing. And it is not that you should maintain that continuity. Continuity is a fact, but living as a Jiva, you have to figure out your status, your Swarupa, the Brahmavastu. And for that, you have to keep on trying. That is, follow dharma, follow values, follow self-controls, all that is relevant to, all that is related directly or indirectly related to understanding yourself See, try to follow. This all comes under sanskara. Thinking gets purified and rectified. Not the fact of oneself being Brahman, that cannot be changed. Cannot be changed. Another point, even knowledge of a reality doesn't purify the reality. When I come to know, when I get the right knowledge about the rope, you see, that right knowledge about the rope, as the rope, doesn't purify the rope. Nor the wrong knowledge about the rope makes it impure. You see? So the purity and impurity are not the qualities of facts, realities. Purity and impurity, they are the qualities of thinking, qualities of thinking, qualities of feelings, qualities of attitudes. So pure feelings, etc. Similarly, the words like right and wrong, they are also qualities of thinking. You can't say it is a right fact and it is a wrong fact. A fact cannot be qualified as right and wrong. You can only say that it is a fact and this is an error. There can be fact, error, viveka, but there cannot be any viveka like right fact and wrong fact, or pure fact or impure fact. One can have right knowledge about a fact or wrong knowledge about a fact. Pure feelings about things, impure feelings about things. Thus, we have to value sanskara and put it in its place. Neither we understate it nor we overstate it. Sanskara is there, which is a part of life. And that should be all the purificatory rights must be respected and valued, and we should derive whatever we can derive. Thus, moksha is neither the result of creation, nor is it something that is reached in time and space, nor is it something which is the result of some modification, nor is it the result of some purification. These are the four, categories of action. Action is always, action is exhaustively only four kinds. These are the only four. Human choice is confined only to these four. It is a karma. So, if there is something which doesn't have to be created by my choice, which doesn't have to be modified by my choice, doesn't have to be purified, doesn't have to be reached. If it is none of the four, then what do I use my choice for? Then it is not Purusha Tantra. So if there is something which is already there, which is already free, which is already myself, then I have to only know. Knowing it, knowing a reality as it is not Purusha Tantra. Purusha Tantra means I use my will, choice, and do it. That is called choice. Choice, the essence of choice. Everybody uses the word choice, but the implication of it is only unfolded is there. Everybody experiences what choice is. But one doesn't really recognize what it is, correctly understand choice. Choice means I should be able to do it or not to do it or do it otherwise. That's called choice. Supposing I am able to choose to tell a lie, but I am not able to choose not to tell a lie. That means I am not using my choice. I have a choice. If I use the choice not to tell a lie, I can avoid telling a lie, but I am not using my choice. That person can be considered to have a choice when he uses it to do or not to do or do it otherwise. So I should be able to do something if it gives me happiness, if it's something good. I should be able to avoid it if it is wrong. I should be able to do it if it is right. I should be able to avoid it if it is wrong. Then my choice is in my hands. But supposing I am not able to do what is right and avoid what is wrong, then I am not going by my choice, I am going by my like and dislike. It's not considered to be an individual choice. It's a like. When I use it, that is my choice. If it happens, then it is an impulse. To avoid what is wrong, I should take the initiative to avoid the wrong. It doesn't happen. If I have to do what is right, then I have to take the initiative. I have to use my will. If I am using my will against the impulse, that is called choice. Choice is not another impulse. Otherwise, Vidhikanda is a problem. You can't explain away Karmakanda. When the Veda says, well, don't tell lies, speak truth, why should Veda say, why should the Veda prescribe, tell the truth? Because by impulse man tells lies. By impulse he tells lies. He doesn't have to use his will to tell a lie. He effortlessly tells a lie. He effortlessly becomes angry, greedy, jealous, hateful. All these impulses just happen effortlessly, for which I don't have to use my choice. I don't have to use my choice for that. But if I resist them, I am using my choice not to go along with them. That is called choice. Choice. That's called choice. And that choice, I may use it, I may not use it. This is one realm of choice. Going against the impulses is the definition of choice. I can choose to go, I can choose to resist my impulses, or I can give up my choice and then go by my impulses. We may call that I may choose to go with the impulses. Hey, to go with the impulses, you don't have to choose. Choice comes only to go against them. This is one that is one realm of choice. There are actions. Going to the village. Here you see, there is no impulse or anything here. It's just an action. So, I decided to go to a village. Now, I can choose to go to the village. I can choose to go to the village walking. I can choose to go to the village by bus. Or I can choose not to go to the village. This choice. This is another realm of choice. One realm of choice is purely pertaining to action. Another choice is pertaining to the impulses. Impulses. So, when it comes to the impulses, I use the choice to control them. Here also, I am not really, this is also a kind of a kriya. Nivritti is also taken in Karmakanda, in Veda. Nivritti also is looked upon as a karma, as a kriya. Nivritti also comes under karma because I am using my choice. And choice is related to actions also. Now, in knowledge, I don't really control anything, nor am I doing an action by my choice. I am only seeing what is there as it is. And that perception is not true to my like or dislike. It is not true to my choice. It is true to the nature of the reality. Therefore, that becomes Vastu Tantra. Everything else is Purusha Tantra. It's all Purusha Tantra. And when it comes to impulses, this is in between. When I control impulses, it is Purusha Tantra. When I control impulses, it is Purusha Tantra. But to have impulses is neither Purusha Tantra nor Vastu Tantra. It is an error. It is Swabhavika. It is Swabhavika. It is Avidya. It is there. I find myself with it. And now, these three things, there is Vastu, Atma is Vastu. Listen to this topic closely. There is Atma, the Vastu, the unlimited. And due to Anadi Avidya about it, I look at myself as an individual. I find myself as an individual with impulses. I find myself as an individual with the search for fullness. I find myself as an individual with impulses. So those impulses are called swabhavika. That I am Brahman is the vastu, number one. That I find myself as an individual is avidya. That I find myself as a form is avidya. Is an error about that very Brahman. And in the context of that error, that I am the form, there are impulses. And they are also a part of that error. Impulses are a part of the self-error. And within this embodiment, the error, there is a choice also along with the impulses. I have a choice. Generally, the jiva uses the choice for mere survival, for sukham and dukkham. He uses his choice to perform actions for sukham and to perform actions to avoid dukkham. He uses that choice, he doesn't know what else to use it for. Then the Veda comes and says, hey, use your choice to purify yourself, to rectify your thinkings. Use your choice to find a certain stability within yourself, certain purity, certain composure, certain peace within yourself. Thus use your choice for growth and then use your viveka to find out, to understand yourself, the Brahman, to overcome this avidya. Use Purushatantra Vyapara to prepare yourself to understand the Vastu and remove the avidya. So, to understand the Vastu, I must begin the journey by way of using my choice for my self-growth, mental purity, mental peace, etc. Thus, that Purushatantra Vyapara, this choice, being put to, good use for one's own inner purity, is what is called sanskara. Sanskara is this. Instead of using your choice only for only for sukha prapti and dukkha nivritti. Because sukham and dukkham, sukham comes and disappears, and even if you try your best for sukham and remove dukkham, some dukkham will always be there. This is another bhranti. If I make an effort, then I will have only sukham, not dukkham, because I am giving now another dimension to this topic. If you have patience to hear. Merely, making effort for sukham alone doesn't remove all the dukkha. You know why? Sukham and dukkha. It is not that Sukham is not there for lack of effort or Dukkham is there for lack of effort. Don't attribute Sukham and Dukkham for lack of effort. We try to ascribe Sukham and Dukkham in life to lack of effort. Therefore, we keep on making effort to get Sukham and to remove Dukkham. But this is just, very superficial view about Sukham and Dukkham. So if I make effort, I will get Sukham. If I make effort, I will have no Dukkham. Therefore, Sukha Prapti and Dukkha Nivritti is totally based upon individual effort. This thinking creates a new school away from Vedanta. Vedanta says, no matter what you do, as a jiva, you are subject to. That must be registered. That I am a jiva, as an individual, I am subject to Sukham and Dukkha. Actions cannot just bring about only Sukham and remove Dukkha. Embodiment entails Sukham and Dukkha. And Sukham and that being subject to Sukham and Dukkha is rooted in the sense that I am an individual. And the idea that I am an individual is rooted in the ignorance that I am Brahman, the eternal being. Therefore, freedom from all the Sukha Dukkha and Sansara is the nature of the self, and recognizing that self alone can falsify the realm of Sansara. That is the vision of Veda. That is the vision of Veda. Therefore, even if one is doing all the time effort, however successful a person may be, he is subject to Sukham and Dukkham. And the Sukham Dukkham, they are so fragile. And therefore, there is no use really using one's choice only for Sukha Prapti and Dukkha Nivritti. It is better to use the choice for the individual mental growth and ultimately the knowledge about the self. That is why the Veda goes on harping, do whatever you do, that means use all your choice for your growth. When Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whatever you do it as a prayer, what does it mean? Whatever you do it as a prayer, what does it mean? It means use your choice only for your mental purity. And then that will pave the way for self-knowledge. This all comes under sanskara. Sanskara. Therefore, a Vedic life is sanskara rupam. This living is sanskara really. Vedic life is sanskara. There is no spiritual life and material life, because Vedic life is totally spiritual. Totally spiritual. There is no compartmentalization of material and spiritual, please. Very leisurely we have to look at this Vedic vision. This Vedic vision does not mean something, some vision given by somebody that falls in line with the Anubhava. Living a life to find one's fulfillment definitely falls in line with what one wants. If I want fulfillment, then I should live for it. If I want happiness, then I should live for it. If I want moksha, then I should live for it. Then life is for it. If I look upon life as an effort for fullness, then definitely it becomes sanskara. Okay, thus the nature of the truth is being ever pure. It needs to be only recognized. We don't have to purify it. Up to this we have seen. And when a person performs the actions, the result also the jiva enjoys. Brahman does not enjoy the karma phalam. It is the jiva who enjoys the karma phalam. And Brahma and jiva again are not two separate realities. Brahman viewed as jiva is the jiva. In the state of that jivatvam, there are actions and results, for which here he brings in a quotation. This is where we stopped in the last class. Tat phalam cha sayeva ashnati sayoranyaham vippalam swadvatti anashnanyanyo avichakashiti iti mantravarnat. So, the example is, there is a tree. Yesterday also we had the same mantra. So, I think they all go together. There is a tree. And in the tree there are two birds. And these two birds, sayujav, they are always together. They are perched on the same tree. And they are always together. Not that they come together and part from each other. They are inseparability. What does it mean they are always together? I say two entities can never be always together. सोचने की बात है जी. Devadatta and Somadatta, are they always together? Even mother and child cannot be always together. They come together and they part. But if these two birds are always together, understand this togetherness is like wave and water. This togetherness is like the Jiva and Brahma. Meaning the Jiva is always with the Brahman. With the Brahma means is non-separate from Brahman. So the example says there are two birds in the same tree, they are always together, and of them one eats the other and the other only sees it. If the other eats and the one eats, the other doesn't eat but only sees. It means one bird is karta and bhokta, and the other bird is only luminosity, there is a knowledge of that. Eating is an action and knowledge of it is something else. Knowledge about eating is not having any sansarga with eating. Knowledge of an action is not an adjective of an action. Knowledge of a pot is not an attribute of the pot. Knowledge of a thought is not an attribute of thought. Therefore, the jiva is all the time doing and enjoying, but his swarupa, the Brahman, as a pure conscious being, it is in the form of mere knowledge. It is like, you see, we can simplify this thing to just, you bring it to your, day-to-day feelings. Like when you say, I am unhappy, that unhappiness is a thought, and that unhappiness, well, there is knowledge about it. Unhappiness is one phenomenon. There is an unhappy thought, unhappy memory, unhappy mood. But there cannot be an unhappy mood without there being knowledge. Now that knowledge of that mood is not an attribute, is not an adjective of that mood. Because if the knowledge of that unhappiness, if it were an adjective of that mood, then when that mood goes away, unhappy mood, the knowledge also should go away, but the knowledge remains, in fact, registering the fact that the unhappiness is gone. So the all-registering knowledge is not somewhere buried underneath, it is not somewhere in the back of the mind. Whatever you say, it is always in the form of knowledge. And that knowledge of understand between what I know and that I know, there is no distance. What I know and that I know. And that I know doesn't qualify what I know. Neither what I know qualifies that I know, and that I know also doesn't qualify what I know, and that I know becomes the pure truth, the knowledge. And that what I know, a form that I know, or the form I know, or a sound I know, or a happiness or unhappiness, whatever, thoughts I know, really, that what I know is not synonymous with that I know. Between that I know and what I know, in fact, figuring out the relation between the two is the whole Vedanta. And there is confusion between what I know and that I know. That I know doesn't have a form, that I know doesn't have any label to it, that I know the waking, that I know the dream, that I know the negation, that I know, that I know, that I know, and that I know is unnegatable. If you imagine some shunyam, some blackout, if you assert that there is a blackout, that very assertion only means it is indeed known, it is knowledge. It is impossible for a state to be there wherein I don't know. Negation of knowledge is not possible. Therefore, what we call Paramartha Satyam, the truth, is not something distinct from my knowledge of the objects. My knowledge of the waking, that knowledge of the dream, knowledge of the negation, that knowledge is not really born of senses. That knowledge is eternal. And that is one bird. And the same knowledge which is the truth is equated with what I know. And that I know is confused with what I know. I become an individual. As an individual, what am I doing? I am only doing karma. I am doing karma and enjoying the fruit. Enjoying the fruit. When it comes to knowing that fact, That is that is a part of the truth. That I perform an action is jiva. I perform an action. As a performer of an action, I am jiva. As enjoyer of the result, I am a jiva. And that I am aware of it doesn't make me a jiva. That I am aware. And that is jnana. Thus, between the kartrutvam and the jnanam and the bhoktritvam and the jnanam, there is never a distance. They are always together. Kartrutvam is always with jnanam. Though jnanam can exist without kartrutvam, jnanam can exist without bhoktritvam, but kartrutvam and bhoktritvam cannot exist without the jnanam, and therefore that ananyatvam is what really the mantra considers it as sayujav sakhayav. They are always together. Therefore, jiva, and therefore if this is the mantra, then how can you say that I have to reach Bhagavan? ये भी सोचने की बात. So the mantra says God and man are always together. And then you say, I have to reach it. I have to reach Bhagavan. God and man are always together like two birds. They're always together. Jnanam has no kartrutvam or bhoktritvam, but kartrutvam, bhoktritvam are kalpita in jnanam. And therefore, jiva alone, karma paladada, and therefore, if jiva takes up purificatory rites, then who enjoys the purity of the mind? The same jiva. The same jivatva. Jiva enjoys. Next one. Atmendriyam manoyuktam okte Atmendriya manoyuktam okte yahur manishinaha iti cha. So, one mantra is given to show that the bhoktritvam and kartrutvam belong to jiva. And another mantra is also given to highlight that point, that is Atma Indriya Manoyuktam, identified with the body, senses and the mind. Atma here means Sharira. Bhokta iti Akuhu is considered Bhokta. Manishinaha, the wise men. The wise men, the Shastram looks upon, the Acharyas look upon this individual who is thinking in terms of himself being the body, senses and the mind. He is the one who is Karta and Bhokta, not Brahmavastha. If Brahman is not the Karta, if Brahman doesn't undertake purificatory deeds, he doesn't also get any fruit of purification. That means Brahmavastu neither ever becomes impure, nor does it ever need to be purified. Therefore, these sanskaras, these purificatory sanskaras, rites, purify not the Brahman, but purify only the jiva. And when we say they purify the jiva, we only mean they purify the mind. And in contrast to these two mantras, the Swarupa of the Brahman also is given here. He brings in another two mantras to show how Brahman doesn't require any purification. Our actuality and that I know doesn't require purification. Supposing you purify knowledge, you purify that I know, what will it become? That I know is not going to become that I don't know. That I know cannot be touched. If there is a purity, there is knowledge of it. There is impurity, there is knowledge of it. And that knowledge is not qualified by the purity or impurity. That knowledge has no sansarga with anything. And that knowledge has no dimension. Because a given dimension also becomes an object of knowledge, and I know the dimension. Big, I know the big. There is knowledge of the big, knowledge of the small. That which is the knowledge of the big and the small is neither big nor small. It is unlimited. Knowledge is anantam. Satyam jnanam anantam. And the mantra says, Tatha cha eko devaha sarvabhuteshu gudaha sarvavyapi sarvabhutantaratma karmachakshaha sarvabhutadivasaha sakshi chetam kevalo nirgunascha iti. One mantra says, Eka, the knowledge is one. Brahman is one. The unlimited being is one. Deva, it is a conscious being. Don't translate it as a divine being, because the word divine doesn't mean anything unless it has somebody does vyakhyanam on it. The word divine, unexplained away, becomes an imagination. Divine. It is divine. Here divine Devaha means the one that is effulgent in the form of knowledge, because there is no second effulgence in this creation. There is no second effulgence here. There is only one effulgence, and that is that I am aware is the only effulgence. You remove that, suppose, just imagine, it is impossible supposition anyway. But anyway you can do, you can suppose, minus that experience, minus that knowledge, there is no effulgence. Even the sun is bright, all right, it doesn't illumine itself, nor does it illumine me. In fact, I am aware of it. That is Devaha. That is Devaha. The one who is aware is Deva. Eko Devaha, Sarva Bhuteshu, and the same knowledge is there in all. Gudaha, remaining ununderstood. It's not hidden, but it remains ununderstood. Knowledge cannot be hidden, because if you say it is hidden, then I will ask a question, is it your belief that it is hidden, or is it your knowledge that it is hidden? If you say knowledge is hidden, truth is hidden, then my question would be, is it your belief that it is hidden, or is it knowledge? If you say it is my belief, beliefs are not given any credence here. You can't just, bring your belief. If you say it is my knowledge that it is hidden, then that knowledge is not hidden. If you say it is my knowledge, that means I see that it is hidden. That means your being there as the seer is not hidden. It's not possible for the knowledge to hide, because everything has to be illuminated by the knowledge of everything. Therefore, Gudaha means remains ununderstood. Guha hitamiti. Sarvavyapi, all pervasive. Kevala, non-dual. Nirgunascha, with no sansarga with anything. That is Nirguna. It is not qualified by, knowledge is not qualified by the objects of knowledge. Simple simple way of putting Vedanta. Knowledge of the world is not qualified by the world. Knowledge of form is not qualified by form. Knowledge of sound is not qualified by sounds. Knowledge is not qualified. Jnanam, ekam, nirgunascha. Another mantra is brought in here. Saparyagat, Shukram, Akayam, Avranam, Asnaviragam, Shuddham, Apapavidham, Iticha. Very beautiful. Sapari Agat. Agat means Agachat. It has gone everywhere, means it is all pervasive. Saparyagat. Paritaha Agat, Paritaha Agachat. Paritaha Gataha. It is there everywhere. When you refer to any object, there is knowledge of it. So the knowledge of the object is where? The knowledge of the pot is where? You know, this is something it is something to be analyzed. The knowledge of the pot is where? I can't even ask this question because where is a word that refers to the space? And the knowledge of the pot implies knowledge of the pot and the knowledge of the space in which the pot is and the knowledge of this body which is there in space, the knowledge of myself as an individual, in fact, me as the body and the space in which the pot is and the pot, this whole avastha, knowledge of the pot means knowledge of the whole state. Now this knowledge of the pot, where is it? At what point of space? You can't say knowledge of the pot is not at a given point in space because space becomes object of knowledge. So knowledge of the pot is not centered on any of this. Is neither in the body, the knowledge of the pot is not in the pot, the knowledge of the pot is not in the body, it is knowledge of the body. Knowledge of the pot means knowledge of the body and knowledge of the space, that means the whole state. So the knowledge of the state, if you say the state, there is knowledge of the state. Now that knowledge is where? You may say, sorry, there is no knowledge in the pot. There is no knowledge in the pot. The pot is object of knowledge. The pot is in knowledge really. The pot is in knowledge, not knowledge in the pot. Pot is in knowledge. Though it is in knowledge, it is not an adjective of the knowledge. Pot is a kalpita in knowledge. What is kalpita? Like the knowledge of the dream. Just look at the dream. This knowledge of the dream. Now where is the knowledge of the dream? If you say knowledge of the dream is a quality of a detail of the dream, if knowledge of the dream is a quality of the dream, then the negation of the dream would be negation of knowledge. There would be no reference to the dream anyway. So, let us not think that the knowledge of the dream is there in the dream. Say, dream is in knowledge. Reverse it. Knowledge is not in the dream. Dream is in the knowledge. And even though it is within knowledge, it doesn't qualify knowledge. It doesn't condition knowledge. It doesn't color knowledge. Like even though the sarpa is within the rajju anubhava is the sarpa pratyaya, But that sarpa pratyaya doesn't color rajju anubhava. Within the rajju anubhava is the sarpa pratyaya. Listen to this statement again. Within rajju anubhava. Rajju is in the form of anubhava. Pratyaksha anubhava doesn't matter. Sensory experience. It is a pramana-janya jnanam, pramana-janya anubhavam it is. So within the rajju anubhava is the sarpa pratyaya. But that sarpa pratyaya doesn't qualify rajju anubhava. It doesn't color rajju anubhava. And when I recognize the rajju anubhava, when I get the knowledge that it is, what I am experiencing is not indeed sarpa, what I am experiencing is indeed rajju, that is recognizing a given anubhava properly, then the sarpa pratyaya is gone without leaving behind any trace of it within the rajju anubhava. When it was there, it did not color. When it is gone also, it doesn't color. It is just that really it looked real, but in the knowledge of the rajju as rajju, the sarpa has negation. In that manner, let us not search for knowledge in the object, because evidently what is there is, every object is in knowledge. To be an object of knowledge is an error. There is no object of knowledge. What looks an object of knowledge is ananya with the knowledge. We say it is an object of knowledge. Now the object of knowledge and knowledge, are they two? If they are two, definitely one cannot be the object of another. Like ghata cannot be an object of pata. If you count them as a two, then why should the object be the object of knowledge? And its very existence seems to be only in the form of being an object of knowledge. It has no existence otherwise. And why should it be an object of knowledge alone if it is to be counted as second? If it has to be counted as another, why should it be an object of knowledge? I know. But it is always an object, looks always an object of knowledge. That means what? It has no existence outside knowledge. That means it cannot be counted as second to knowledge. Object of knowledge can never be second to knowledge. The universe can never be second to my knowledge of it. Dream cannot be second to my knowledge of the dream. The states can't be second to my knowledge of them. My knowledge of them is turiyam. And the felt states are only three states, ananya with the knowledge. And that knowledge is not an individual knowledge and all that, because individuality itself is a part of an object. As the unlimited knowledge, in fact, which is indeed the essence of the creation, well, that knowledge, well, taken for an individual, looks like a jiva, and therefore, as that jiva, I may perform karma and enjoy the phalam, but as knowledge, it is free from karma and phala, and it is always free from impurity. Clear? It's always free from impurity. This particular vakya we will see next class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Hari Om, please come. Where is this? Try. Hari Om Ji, Hari Om Ji, Hari Om Ji, Hari Om Ji. Oh Bhagavan. जो कहते हैं ना, इसे having talked about Shastra, then they will say Shastram, Shastra, Vido, Vido. So, who understands Shastra? He says those who understand the Shastra, understand the Shastra. Those who understand the Shastra, understand the Shastra. The Vedanta of the Shastra, they conveyed it very well. Conveyed it.